Soft ambient rain fades in, the sound of slow breathing. Then, a quiet voice begins. Have you ever stared at your own reflection long enough to feel like it wasn't really you staring back? I used to think that was just my imagination. Until I bought that mirror. It all started last October. I just moved into an old Victorian house on the outskirts of Portland. The rent was cheap, suspiciously cheap, but I chalked it up to the creaky floorboards, the dated wallpaper, and the smell of damp wood that clung to every hallway. I'm a freelance photographer, so I needed a space with good lighting. The house had that. Big windows, high ceilings. It felt perfect until I found the mirror. It was in the attic, it leaning against a stack of dusty crates. Tall, ornate, framed with blackened silver vines curling around the edges. It looked ancient, like something out of a Gothic painting. When I wiped the dust from its surface, I saw myself, but something was off. My reflection's expression lingered a second too long after I'd moved. Just barely noticeable, like a video with a one-frame lag. At first, I thought it was the lighting, or maybe my exhaustion. I hadn't slept much that week, but the longer I looked, the more that faint delay seemed intentional. That night, I decided to bring the mirror downstairs. It looked incredible in my living room. Moody, elegant, perfect for the aesthetic I wanted for my photography studio. But when I took my first photo with it, something strange appeared in the preview, a blurred silhouette behind me. I turned around, nothing there. I deleted the photo, took another one. Same thing. The silhouette was closer. I remember standing there, camera trembling in my hands. Staring into the reflection, I saw myself, and behind me a dark shape, faint but undeniable. Not a trick of light, it was there. That night I barely slept. The next morning I checked my camera again. The photos were gone, not deleted, just gone, replaced by blank files. My memory card was corrupted, though everything else on it worked fine. That was the first time I thought of getting rid of the mirror, but I didn't. Something about it fascinated me. Every night I'd find myself drawn to it, sitting across the room, watching my reflection under the dim glow of a single lamp. The surface shimmered faintly, like ripples under black water. And then one night, the reflection smiled at me. I hadn't moved. I hadn't smiled. But it did. It wasn't a big grin, just a slow curl of the lips. Deliberate, knowing, like it was testing me. I stumbled back, hitting the table behind me. My lamp fell and shattered, plunging the room into darkness. In the faint silver light of the moon filtering through the curtains, I could still see it, the reflection standing perfectly still, face tilted just slightly to one side. Watching me, I ran upstairs. The next morning, I told myself it had to be a dream. Sleep deprivation, stress, caffeine, that kind of thing can make your mind play tricks on you. So I avoided the mirror for days. I covered it with a sheet, but that didn't stop it. Every night, I'd hear faint scraping sound, like fingernails against glass. Sometimes I'd wake up and find the sheet half pulled down. Once, I swear I heard whispering, not words, just a low hum, like someone breathing against the other side of a wall. Then came the night of the storm. The power went out around midnight. Rain hammered against the windows. Thunder rolling so hard the house felt alive. I was sitting on the couch with a flashlight, trying to distract myself by scrolling through photos. That's when I noticed something. In one of the recent photos I'd taken of my studio, the mirror wasn't covered. It was uncovered, fully visible. I dropped my phone and slowly turned toward the living room. The sheet was gone. The flashlight flickered. I heard that scraping sound again. And then something moved inside the mirror. It wasn't a reflection this time, it was someone. They looked like me, but wrong. My face only paler, my eyes darker, sunken. The figure stood on the other side of the glass, moving slightly out of sync, delayed by a fraction of a second. And when I stepped back, they stepped forward. I froze. The air felt electric, heavy. My heart hammered so hard it hurt. I whispered, "Who are you?" And the reflection tilted its head, still smiling that slow, unnatural smile. Then, with a sound like cracking ice, its hand pressed against the inside of the glass. I saw the condensation spread where its palm touched. That was impossible. The flashlight went out. I stood there in pitch black, the only light coming from faint, erratic flashes of lightning through the window. In one of those flashes, I saw it, the reflection's hand now pushing through the mirror. The surface rippled around its wrist like liquid mercury. I ran. I slammed the door to my bedroom, locked it, shoved a dresser in front. I could still hear the sound of glass shifting, soft at first, then louder, like something forcing its way out. When the storm finally stopped, I didn't move. I sat on the floor until dawn. By morning, the house was silent. The mirror was still there, perfectly intact. The sheet back over it, like nothing had ever happened. I packed my bags that day. I left everything behind, camera, furniture, even my laptop. I just wanted out. But before I walked out the front door, I glanced one last time at the covered mirror. For a moment, I could have sworn I saw movement beneath the sheet, the faint outline of someone standing behind the fabric waiting. I left and never went back. It's been 6 months. I live in a new apartment now, far away from that house. But lately, I've started noticing things again. When I look into the bathroom mirror, sometimes my reflection blinks a moment after I do. And once, just once, when I woke up in the middle of the night, I saw a faint shape standing at the end of my bed. It was gone when I turned on the light, but I could have sworn I heard that same faint scraping sound, like fingernails against glass, a quiet breath, then a whisper. Sometimes I wonder if it ever really stayed behind, or if it's just waiting for another mirror.